Something I wanted to mention in my last video, and should have had a little clip to add to it, didn't do it. Snap, Crackle, Pop Rice Krispies. Those characters, for me, I don't know, maybe a month ago, were smaller. These characters were small, little Snap, Crackle, Pop. 100% guaranteed for me. I look back on all my old videos and there's no clear shots, like in this one right here, of any of the characters. They're blurry. You can tell they're bigger. There's hints or clues that it is bigger, just like this. And I kind of expected that. And at first it was weird to see this. And I noticed it in the supermarket. Just showed that clip, I'm assuming. And then I came home and looked at this, and that freaked me out because I knew they were small here. And I figured, all right, they just changed the characters. And I come home and these are big. The scene was different. That doesn't bother me. They could change that every month or every week or whatever they do. But these were smaller characters. The animation was smaller. So that kind of shows me, all right, there's been a shift. It's small, it's mild, it's, you know, it's not something a lot of people are going to notice. Also, I'll go ahead here and mention the Thanksgiving thing again. Yes, I remember. Now it's come back to me because of a comment somebody made. Thanksgiving was always the third Thursday of November, and now it's always the fourth. Now, strangely enough, there are 5 Thursdays in November this year and next year. Or was it last year and this year? It was last year and this year. So that could have something to do with the way I was looking at things as well. One of the things that I really wanted to touch on is the whole, everything you do is really for you. There are other people interacting in your life, and if you do something to hurt them, they're only going to receive that if they need to for them. Otherwise, the whole circumstance could be something different for them. And I was putting it in terms of death, because death, we've noticed, some of us have, is a catalyst to noticing Mandela effects. And there was a video I did, and I edited it out. It's too esoteric. No, it's too taboo. You know, death. Oh my God, if you die. Oh, what about suicide? Well, look, don't go killing yourself. What I've found from talking with other people is every time they attempt to kill themselves, they fail, but they notice that close people in their life don't talk to them anymore, or are very quiet around them. That's because in where their dominant consciousness is, they succeeded in killing themselves. You know, and you're going to still live and experience life and learn the things and do the things you need to do or want to do or whatever. And those people will not be in your life as much. You know, I think if you die, I think that's what happens. So then I had this thought where when I accidentally impaled myself, and then noticed the heart moved and started noticing Mandela effects and changes and things, and especially with family members, that I realized, you know, well, I've spoken with these people a lot more, I've seen them a lot more. Of course, I moved across the country shortly after another accident where I could have died, so I became further from them. I don't see them. practically at all. Okay, so they're far removed from my life. I still speak with them on the phone and such, and that's simply shifting into a timeline because they haven't died for me in my life, but I may have died for them in their life. And what happened was recently, I've spoken with one who, when I was in Mississippi, talked with them, and they just blew me off as, you know, oh, another conspiracy theory, ha ha ha, that's it. And now they, you know, a couple of years later, now they've been affected. So what I think may have happened was, down when I was in Mississippi, I may have been dead for them in their dominant conscious timeline. And bringing them into the Mandela Effect shifted them back into a timeline where I was alive. And for them, that's just the way it always was. It's not like I came back from the dead like Muhammad Ali or Michelle Nichols for me or Gene Wilder every 10 years. It wasn't like that. They came back with a memory that their consciousness shifted into a timeline where I was always alive, and they accepted the download, accepting that information. I don't know how else to put it. So, you know, so yeah, if yeah, that brings a lot to view, but it's for each individual. And you're going to reside where your vibration resides. And that's another thing. You know, a lot of people are, you know, hey, things are tough and it's scary because of the Mandela Effect, and it can be. And I think you've got to get past that, because that's when you're free. You're free, and especially with the death as a catalyst, and telling yourself don't work, you don't get out. It's not how you're going to do it. So forget that. If somebody attempts to kill you and they succeed for them in their timeline, you died for them in their timeline, and they're screwed because they got to live with that or pay the consequences or whatever. But you didn't have any interaction with that at all. Whatever happened for you in that scene, but you continued to live, whether it was just an argument or a knife fight or whatever. You survived where your dominant consciousness is, period. You're going to survive. It's your movie, it's your show. I just babbled and I don't know how long. I had it on pause. Maybe, see, in that, excuse me. I just have some problems with the pause button. I don't know how much of that you got, and I'm just letting it go. But I did want to punch out there that if some people don't like the word vibration. You know, they're just terminologies. Be happy. Feel it from within and bring it out and be happy. Just do it. Forget about what's going on in here. I've said that enough times. And just be happy. Your vibration's higher. You're going to bring that in. That's what you're going to put out. When you're putting it out, that's how you feel. You know, so just do it. Doesn't matter what's going on around you. I know it's horrible out there. I only know that because that's what people are saying. You know, for me, what's going on is fantastic. Everything's great. And if you're going to walk around saying, you know, woe is me, I used to, you know, I'm not going to be in the system, but, you know, how can I be happy? And I don't have any money, and I don't have this, and I don't have that. And you're going to continue getting not that stuff. Now, that made no sense. I mean, you just be happy. It doesn't matter. What are you afraid of at this point? I mean, I think that's what you really need to ask yourself. What are you afraid of at this point? And I am talking to myself with a lot of this because, you know, for a long time now, I felt like, hey, I'm at the next step. I'm standing at the door, but I'm waiting for something. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Because, and I've said this, and I noticed this when I did the Back to the Beginning videos, I'm getting into an area where I've said it's time to put this down. And I feel with the videos, the way things are going, that's kind of the direction I'm going in. As much as I keep wanting to say, well, maybe I'll come on once in a while here and there. And I hope somebody emails me and lets me know if some major Mandela effects go down. And once I shut this down, I'll probably see a big one. And I don't know. Of course I'll jump on, right? Maybe I'll just go on somebody's live show and announce it and then get off again. Because I think to experience the things I was experiencing before, the electronics need to be put down. And, you know, it's this. Why? Because part of the formula that I say is not a formula is to not tell anybody. So you were watching Mandela Effect videos? I got it now.
Okay, well, this will be better.
They're like,
we get a video.
Well, I was asking questions. Now you're posing? It's a video. Don't pose.
I'm just moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're like, oh, he's breaking out the camera. We got to get out of here. Found a Mandela Effect. It's on the advertisements behind the batter. Stanley now has that line through the end, which makes it look like that upside down V.
354 in the second half.
It should be coming on. There you go. Now, I'm not saying I ain't looked it up, so I don't know if it was that way forever, or if it's changed, or if they just changed the logo, because that's always a possibility. This is where we will be doing Mandela Effect trivia and then a book signing. It's all tentatively, it's all up in the air. I'm actually advertising it, so. But I mean, every time I've tried to do this, it got shut down. I don't expect it to be a huge crowd, but, you know, anyway, April 19th, 7 o'clock. And I'm planning on filming it live. Mickey Mouse has a tail and no suspenders. What else you remember in that picture? Adidas. I remember it being spelled ADD. Yeah, that's what it is now, here. Does Kit Kat have a dash or not have a dash?
No.
You don't know?
No, it doesn't.
It does not have a dash. But a lot of people remember it having a dash. I was listening to like one of the Disney songs, Pocahontas. One of the words went from plural to singular. Actually makes more sense for the structure of the song, but the wording doesn't make sense. What's going on? What else is up there? The word leprechaun spelled differently for a lot of people. The word fairy is changed for some people. I always think it was spelled 2 or 3 different ways, but then again, that doesn't mean, you know, I just wasn't picking it up in different timelines or whatever. This is on that wall. The Monopoly Man, does he wear a monocle, glasses, or nothing at all? Monocle. Yeah, monocle. In this timeline, drum roll please. He wears nothing at all.
I'm thinking of the Mr. Peanut.
Well, of course you are. Your mind is trying to justify it every which way it can, but you're not going to get over 4 people in that car.
Oh,
JFK. Okay, so it's honestly, it only takes 1, 2 to be sure, but 1. I mean, why do you need another one?
That one doesn't make any sense.
Right, and but you'll find a few more of those that are just like the Scarecrow with the gun. I mean,
Are there like people who say the Scarecrow has a gun?
no, he does have a gun. In this timeline, the Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz carries a pistol. Oh, here we go.
That's what I kept asking him. I was like, so you're saying if I look it up right now, that's the way it is? I said, when did it change? He said, it didn't change.
Oh my god. There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is losing his mind. That's too funny. What else was I
So
gonna
from the
do?
original Wizard of Oz movie, he's got a gun.
Yep. I don't know about how long in the movie or if it's just a scene. I haven't sat there and watched it. I've seen clips. So, I mean, I got tired of investigating because, although it's important to investigate, you just can't come out and go, oh, look, that changed. Like for me, I seen something in the supermarket and I'm looking at the Rice Krispies box. And the characters have changed. They changed the artist or whatever. They're bigger characters, okay? And I'm looking at the box, and I'm like, well, that's definite. So the whole scene is different. So, okay, maybe they changed the scene, but the characters are definitely bigger. So I go up to look at my collection, and I look at Rice Krispies, and the characters are bigger than they were last frickin' week, okay? The characters are bigger. The scene's different. The scene is the way I remember it. But the characters are bigger. They were these tiny little things. And now they're these big cartoonish things. Not that they weren't cartoons before, but they're more animated, I guess. And I just looked at it and I just laughed. And I'm like, I could probably do a half-hour video on this alone.
There was other cereal too.
But
Cornflakes.
Kellogg's cornflakes. A lot of people. I know personally people that just remember K, cornflakes with a K. For me, it went from C to K to C. Tidy Cats, Tidy Cat. Which one is it? Tidy Cat or Tidy Cats? No, it's Tidy Cats now. And I say this is because I'm the only one in my dimension, and for me it's Tidy Cats with an S. I own 2 cats. If I owned one, it'd be Tidy Cat. I mean,
Frosted Flakes, was that ever one?
It was. What color is Tony the Tiger's nose? And if you really don't know, you don't know. Of course it was black. Duh. Not here. It is blue here. Good call. It is. Dun, dun, dun. Fairy, leprechaun. What else? Jurassic Park. How do you spell Jurassic?
Jurrassic.
I don't know. I see 2 S's, so I don't know. But I think there might be 1 S now. There might be 1 R, 2 R's. I don't know. It wasn't a fair question. It was just something that came into my head. I don't know the answer to that. Because most people don't know the answer to my questions. What have you been affected by with the Mandela Effect?
I think the yield sign. Yeah. And a couple other things.
Now you're 21?
20.
20? Have you been affected by the yield sign Berenstein Bears?
I don't really remember that one.
Do you remember the Berenstain Bears at all?
Yeah.
All right. She was a lot like the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz.
Never watched The Wizard of Oz.
No?
No.
Yeah, 21.
20. Yeah.
Kit Kats never had a dash, right?
Kit Kats never had a dash. Yeah.
It did have a dash or it didn't?
Did it? I don't think.
You ever studied the JFK assassination?
Yeah.
How many people were in the car when JFK was murdered?
4.
Now there's 6. You know about that?
No.
There's actually 6 people in that car now. But there's always been 6 people in that car. I remember 4. Many others remember 4. Some people remember 3. Some remember 5. Actually had a guy yesterday tell me 6. I asked him what color the yield sign was, and he said upside down red triangle. Yeah, so while in Mississippi, one of my questions was, all this shit was going on, do we take our bodies when we go into another reality? I didn't know what to call it at the time, and still not sure what I'm calling it is the right thing. But my question was, do we take our bodies? And then I'm reading online about how some guy, his tattoo switched arms, and this other girl saying her and her girlfriend's tattoos date changed, and somebody said something about a scar. I was watching Fringe probably around that time, and Peter Bishop was saying, well, I remember that scar being on the other cheek when he was talking about a doll. So all that stuff came into play, and I thought, oh, let me go check my scar. So we hold this. So I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, oh, nice, my scar here. I just kind of glanced over here. There it is. That's the scar. And the reason I remember it is because I have a trigger point for it. It was, Doc, I don't care about your experimental stitch. It's under my left arm. I'm right-handed. It's under my elbow. Do whatever you want. It's going to be some ugly C thing. Thank you. And I'll just do it, and that's where it is. Oh wow, that comes in. So that told me, all right, well, we don't take our bodies because this isn't the same body. I remember that accident in that arm.
Did you notice it switched?
How did I notice it switched arms?
Like how long ago?
It was October 16, November 16. Hold on, it would be December 16.
How long did you,
Over a year ago.
how long did you have the scar before that?
Oh, I was 21.
How long you been bald?
Meet the comic relief. Ladies and gentlemen, Butters, interesting shirt.
It's Butters.
How was everything today?
Yeah, everything's great. Interesting shirt.
Thank you. We're gonna check out the picture.
Yeah. Yeah, hit them lights too, will you?
My section's cool, dude.
Cinderella, what was that one?
Oh, Cinderella? No. Oh, a lot of people remember her collar being a different color. I'm not sure one way or the other. I believe they said it was light blue, now it's black.
If a fly had no wings, would you call it a walk?
Oh, that's not good. That's no good, man. That ain't a good one.
Would you not? If a fly had no wings, would you call it?
Bang up job.
All right. Excellent. What else do you remember in that?
You got to use candies.
Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops. Well, you saw how it was spelled in the picture, right?
Yeah, I didn't remember it that way.
No, you remember it, Fruit Loops being spelled the word fruit, F-R-U-I-T.
No, it's just OOT.
It is O-O-T in this timeline.
I think every time one.
Oh, come on. You're still shocked about JFK.
I was shocked about JFK.
JFK was his wife? Vice President or
Well, wait a minute. You know what's funny? It's like, I am surprised about JFK, but I'm not buying Fruit Loops. Really?
Fucking vice president's name?
I don't even know where to go with that. God. I mean, honestly, it's quantum, in my opinion.
Who was his vice president?
Who?
Ford.
No, dude, that was Nixon's.
What did I just say?
LBJ.
No, I'm not even talking
Yeah, it
about
was Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah, because
It was
LBJ took
Johnson.
over.
Yeah. So it was.
There was three
it was
people in the car,
his
then
wife-
4, then 5,
His
now
wife,
6.
his wife, Johnson,
And
the
we're
driver.
worried about the president.
No. In the car, no, it was like the mayor of Dallas or something, or governor of Texas, maybe.
It was Governor Connolly, governor of Texas.
So,
William Greer was the driver, Connolly was in the passenger seat, and the Kennedys were in the back.
so that's what it was. I got
Who are the two more now?
One guy that looks like Sean.
because Secret Service jumped on the back.
No.
No, there's
Just-
like.
oh, please show him a picture. Please. This is where he's gonna.
Doesn't fucking Secret Service jump on the trunk?
Yeah, but wait, it's seated 2, and 2 now. No,
Crap, dude. Hey, you got into those candies? Gummies?
I do not.
Where'd you get those named fruits?
Earl's. Got a good picture? See, I want to see how he's going to justify this.
This is all fucked off right here.
That's like the first.
It's like
that's like the
reflections.
first picture of all of them on Google.
1, 4, 5. The driver. No. 3 in the back. 1 in the passenger. Okay, so there's 1. There's 5. There's 5.
Show where? Who's driving?
The driver you can't see.
Okay, are you counting them? Just because you
So
can't
look,
see them, you still
look,
gotta
here's the
count
front row. Here's the driver's row, right?
Right, yeah.
Driver's there.
So that's 1,
some
2.
dudes in the some dudes riding shotgun.
Uh-huh.
Then the fucking governor.
Right
and then
next to the
MC.
governor is his wife. You can't see her. Her head's behind something.
Is she giving him a blowjob or something? Oh, I see her. There's the driver. All right, I see them all now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Uh-huh.
6.
Okay. So you just misremembered.
I didn't remember fucking having 3 doors. I mean, 3 rows.
Oh, yeah. The car's longer in this timeline. This timeline.
Let's talk about this timeline.
Trying to bring your dominant consciousness closer to where mine resides.
Well, that's a fucking story. That is a cool car.
You want another drink? Just hold this. Keep it on me, keep it on them.
Who am I, Steven Spielberg? Quentin Tarantino?
See, for me, what I feel I've done is I learned how to create. And the first thing is you got to line up your heart with what's in your mind. And what's in your mind is always wrong because you're polluted with television. So you can't line up. You know, you go, okay, I desire this, I desire that. No, you don't. Television makes you think you desire this and that. What do you truly want? What are you truly looking for? So I started to do small things, and I would fail because I just wasn't lining it up. It just wasn't working. I'm like, come on, no, I want a hot blonde and a jacuzzi, and no, it just wasn't. I wasn't lining it up. I'm exaggerating. I'm not giving exact examples, but after I got by that, I realized, all right, what do I really want? Well, I really, truly wanted to drive out of Leadville without any storms or any problems. And did that. I said it out loud, and I laid down. Saw myself driving out of town. I saw it. Clear night, the whole bit. Didn't tell anybody I did it. And I blew it off. When it was time for me to leave, the storm went all the way around. Leadville was clear. and every town around it was like 20-something inches of snow. Now, I left, I got all the way to Arizona, watched the ball game, came all the way back 3 days later. As soon as I shut my door, it started to snow. So I was like, okay. And I kind of let it go, because the only way you really let it go is to start creating something else. And then I 6 months later, wanted to manage a business, wanted to run it properly, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm running this place, I'm running it properly. Me and a few others, it's a pretty good family. And that was really strange on that whole thing. Book's called Mind Beyond Matter. I just got it published. It's in print right now. It should be here. I'm hoping Friday or Saturday. It should have actually already been here a few times, and it's like the communication's good, and I've gotten everything done that I need to get done. So I think I'll have 100 books here by Friday, if not Monday. And I wrote this thing, I started it. I mean, most of it was notes that I had written down for years. Stars coming at me, orbs telling me not to eat meat.
I'm writing a book too. It's called My Pickup Lines.
I'm judged.
I'm serious. So it's going to be my pickup lines.
Or what?
Pickup lines that I made up and I've used, and I fucking write down what happened and fucking.
Yeah, let's see.
Like let's all right. One is.
I guess
is there
it's
Wi-Fi
comedy time.
Is there Wi-Fi in here? You don't think so? That's weird because I'm feeling some kind of connection.
Oh my God.
Another one. Got a drink. Hard. Got a drink, right? It's got ice in it. About 4 feet away from whatever your victim, whoever you choose. Fucking about 4 feet. Fucking just takes a piece of ice and just slam it on the floor as hard as you can. She's looking at you like you're fucking nuts. Make eye contact with her and go, "Nah, the ice is broken."
Pretty good.
Oh, gee.
That one can go severely wrong.
Have I ever asked you what color the yield sign is?
No, you haven't.
What color?
Bright yellow.
Is it bright yellow? Is it a diamond? Is it a bright yellow diamond with a black yield in front? Is that what you remember?
I remember a yellow diamond with
Okay.
black. Is it orange?
No, a lot of people say orange too, and I find that interesting because every once in a while I catch that orange sign. I'm like, that looks interesting. But no, it's actually a red upside down triangle.
I had a driver. I didn't have a driver.
What is the other? Caution?
But that was a big deal.
I don't think there is.
That was like this. Now I'm going to go look at the kids' signs.
Go ahead.
Like at Fisher Price.
Oh, so you're going to... Oh, they have it on the kids in the Fisher Price?
Things they have, like, because my kid had a garage, with all this stuff in it.
I'll bet... there's a possibility that could still be a yellow diamond, and if it is, please bring it in.
I will.
I'd like to see
I can bring a
that.
picture of it in my son.
Well, that'll work. Yeah, picture will work.
Oh, I'm on this. I am on this.
Excellent, excellent. Mandela Effect.
Why the Mandela Effect?
Why is it called the Mandela Effect? A lot of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison somewhere in between 88 and 91. I actually watched this funeral on television. Oh, you do remember that?
I remember him dying.
In prison?
No, fairly recently.
Right. Well, he did. Yeah, he died. He died in prison. After he died in prison, he became president of South Africa, and then he died.
Again.
So that was actually noticed. That was noticed at a thing called Dragon Con by a ghost chaser.
Hey, when do I get an employee shirt?
Paranormal research. Yeah, you get one. I just sold the last one. You're gonna have to wait. It was either give that one to you.
You got a check for me?
I do.
Oh shit. That's
Anyway, that's why it was called the Mandela Effect. Yeah, that's why it was coined. But other people noticed other changes as well, other things going on. Like you remember that movie where Sinbad played a genie?
6 degrees.
And do you remember the movie where Shaq played a genie? So, and they both kind of came out around the same time. Kind of, yeah. I can't. I just said it. I can't. The first one. What was the first one? Sinbad as a genie. It never happened.
Sinbad wasn't ever a genie.
Some people remember
Sinbad is a genie.
that movie as Sinbad.
The black guy?
Yeah.
He was never a genie.
Okay. For you, your dominant consciousness is so far removed, man. Just drink your gin. Dearly beloved, Prince song. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called. Wow, that's just how I remember it. That's how I said it.
That's not crazy.
Yeah, but that's not how it was said. It's dearly in this timeline. It's dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
That's what he said.
Huh?
That's what he says in the song.
He wasn't that awful. He wouldn't have wrote something that silly or stupid. He was pretty good, man. Dude, get through this thing called life. Alright. So I had this story where I felt in 2015 when the apparent probable impalement happened in another timeline, and my consciousness shifted into another timeline. I said a lot of my family, not all of them, but a lot of them, shifted to a timeline, or I shifted into a timeline where they are living without me, where I died. They are living in a timeline where I've died, and I could just tell by the way they were talking to me and acting and everything. Now, since then, I've spoken with a couple of them, because in my timeline, now did I not explain this so much better before? I'm like, So I accidentally die. There's people in my timeline that are, worried about me because I left home or whatever. I'm gonna have, in their timeline, I'm gonna have a problem because that's where they're focusing. Now I'm shifting away from that. So in their timeline, I'm past. But now I've been interacting with them in my timeline because they're not dead. Obviously, I'm not dead. In my timeline, they're not dead. We can't die. Now, by talking to them about the Mandela Effect and affecting them, I've, in a sense, brought them towards, I guess, the timeline that my dominant consciousness is residing in right now. I've brought them closer. So now, in their timeline, I'm not dead. And I kept thinking, wow, how's that possible? I was dead, and now I'm not. But there's flip-flops, and these downloads, people, if I can call them that, people don't remember. So, of course, I'm going to flip into a timeline where their dominant consciousness is now where I live, where I'm alive, and it's just the way it's always been for them. This whole quantum thing's kind of cool. Yeah, I see stuff like I was riding down the street. O'Reilly's Auto. 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, we shifted and it became O'Reilly Auto. And it was a big white sign with green lettering. And I'm driving by it the other day and I noticed it's a big red sign with green and white writing. And I'm like, wow. So I go in and I actually spoke with the people. They were telling me, yeah, they changed it because the light was blinking off and on. So I've been wondering if people all over the country notice what color their signs are. If they're all red with green and white writing down. I don't know. That was just, and like Stanley Tools. The N in Stanley is now cut with a line, which creates an upside down V, which is one of the things a lot of people have been noticing with the Mandela Effects. The upside down V, I don't know. I don't know what it means, what the correlation is. The Roman numeral 4 on a clock, what's it look like? IV. In this timeline, most of them are I. And I don't know what that's about. And look, there's an old clock up there. Let's go look at it. I have no idea. Don't believe I've ever looked at this before. And voila! I need more. We already talked about the yield sign. Everybody kind of thought it was yellow. And they changed their mind. You getting a drink? You getting a drink?
Yeah.
On Scar Performance Show Saturday night, the 28th, I believe, promoting the book. By then I definitely should have the link to buy the book if I haven't already put it on this video. And I'm sending him a book that he'll be able to give away to somebody for whatever reason. So that'll be cool. Almost got photobombed there. Yeah, so I'll be on the show on the 28th, the day after my birthday, and I'll be 42 because I'm going backwards. That's what I've decided. But that's another story in another video. So I think it turned out pretty good, except that it went off there at the end. And I'm still trying to explain to this young man about timelines and dimensions. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? Later on.
So I got the book completed. When I put this out, there'll be a link below so that you can purchase it if you like. Mind Beyond Matter. The Mandela Effect. This is the complete book, finished, edited, done. Last night I had a Mandela Effect trivia. Had somebody come in to host it who a lot of people in the town know. Expected it to be a big thing. It was not, but it was a lot of fun. It really was. And if you get a chance to watch the entire live trivia, it's fun. It was a fun thing. I'm trying to get away from the fun thing. That's what I did with this. Tried to make it as serious as possible. I mean, the molecular structure of physical reality is changing. Or our consciousness is shifting through different timelines, or whatever. But it is something. We're sure of that. So here is just a couple of small clips I did throughout the week, I think. And I'm going to edit up the trivia. So I'll put a little of that on here. Oh, and there's also a clip where I spoke with a woman who spoke with my cats. Now, you'll probably just hear a little bit of that. I'm not going to get big into that. I will say that there was some communication going on for sure.
My shredder.
So it's occurred to me, nothing's new. Everything's redone or made better. Is that the case? okay? Because right now, I mean, look at cars. You know, how much have cars changed in the last few years? Now, this has occurred to me before with TV shows and movies that have been redone. Now, right now, I'm watching Lost in Space on Netflix. And, you know, the thought came to me again, like, hey, this show is the way it was originally. And it was taken. Okay, somebody may have shifted back in time, which I already said is possible. Absolutely. So they've taken this idea, this movie, shifted back in time, and could only do what you could do in the 60s. You know, so now this occurred to me because Dr. Smith is a female, and that's the way it would be now. But back in the 60s, no, Dr. Smith would be a male. The robot would be less sophisticated. Probably wouldn't be an alien. You know, I'm thinking, okay, when this person took that idea and went back into the past and did it, had to come up with other ideas on how to bring the robot into the show. Just a thought, and I've had that thought with other TV shows and movies and all the stuff I shouldn't be watching. Just a thought. Well, I'm guessing that live stream went blank on me, but there's the Harry Potter VCR that I'll be looking for Philosopher's Stone. I mean, if it says Philosopher's Stone, then I know it's a Mandela Effect. If not, then it won't be. What the island that the Statue of Liberty was on? What did they answer?
Most was Ellis.
Most was Ellis?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know. Nice. Not as big a crowd as we thought, but still, we got it going here.
Take my picture.
I'm sure this will be edited up and put in some other video.
Maybe.
You're live on YouTube, Laura.
All right, Trip. Congratulations with your book,
Thank you.
who almost everybody is mentioned in here, in that book. So, thanks to you, Anthony.
Oh, wow, look at that look.
Guys, most of you know almost all of these because Anthony's talked your ear off about them. So best of luck to you. We are going with this timeline. Do you need some, here, need help? We're going with this current timeline. All right, number one. One of Anthony's favorites.
You in, Carol? Yeah.
In,
yeah, nice.
was it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? When the Wicked Witch looks at herself in the
Mirror.
that mirror. What's that phrase that she says? Blankety blankety on the wall. Who's the fairest? Blankety blankety. Oh, just write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Don't say anything. Just write it down. Write it down. Don't forget your team name at the top. Yeah. Okay, number 8. What's his name? Oh my God. What's that guy's name?
Where you at?
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. One of
Gump.
Forrest Gump's favorite lines, talking about his mom and mama's advice. Life blank like a box of chocolates. Life blank like a box of chocolates. Megan. Number 9. in the movie Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, when they approach Hagrid, I just had to watch this because I didn't believe it. When they approach Hagrid, hey, how's it going? Welcome to Silver Dollar.
Yo, they got applications over there.
Hagrid, we know about the blank stone. They confront Hagrid. They've met Fluffy. Hagrid, we know about the blank stone.
There's still evidence, the old one.
We'll talk later.
It's going to be like 12 in round one. It was like 3 rounds of 12, I think, is how this
Something like that, yeah, I couldn't really.
One per side. One per side.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Yeah, one per side. Dun, dun, dun. Number 10. The mamas and the papas. Well, I got down on my knees and I blank to pray. I'm blank to pray.
So Luke's scoring back there. I told him to, I said, I don't know, we could score 2, you know, one from this timeline and one from the other timeline, but there's could be multiple. So who knows? We're just going to score it as in this is the timeline we're in. That's the correct answer.
That's the correct answer.
Why the Harry Potter one, though?
Why the Harry Potter one?
Because there's still sorcerers.
It's not Sorcerer's Stone. And
Not
Luke,
anymore, but that's just like the English
My sister
version.
has.
but I've heard
Yeah, there's both. Like literally, they use like the old American movies say the Sorcerer's Stone. The Sorcerer's Stone.
there's only been one movie. It just says Sorcerer's Stone.
Right, but the English version.
There was no English version of a movie. There was an English version of a book.
Yeah, but now they produce the movies saying the Philosopher's Stone instead of the Sorcerer's Stone.
I guess that's possible, but what I've looked at, I don't know. I have an old VCR, so if that's the case, it wouldn't be on that old VCR. They would still say sorcerers.
on that one.
Okay, well, because
Right, yeah.
I have the old tape. I just bought it for 50 cents not long ago.
The extended version says philosopher.
So the extended
Like, when I
version may
saw
have
it-
changed it.
When I saw it in theaters, it was sorcerers.
It'll say philosopher.
Okay, so that's
So
possible.
That's the UK.
No doubt that's possible. I'm going to look it up. Andy, what's your answer on that one? Hagrid, we know about the blank stone. Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone?
I don't know. I think it's Sorcerer's maybe.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody remembers. But it says Philosopher's Stone. Luke just talked to my daughter on the phone, and she played it for him, and it says Philosopher's. Now they're saying with the extended version, it may actually be Philosopher's Stone, and that's possible. No, I don't doubt it. Yeah, well, that's what this is about. So yeah.
It could be both.
Well, yeah, I talked to her about it the other day with Matt. I was back there with them. Oh, grazie. That's a shame. Did you get Jade to sign your book? She edited it.
No, I forgot to have
put-
her sign it.
Ah.
Jade did, right?
Yeah, Jade edited
I
it.
meant
Her
to
name's
have her
in there.
I know. I
Where's
meant.
the first page?
Mine's not. I'm kidding.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
I'm just kidding. I'm just busting.
I didn't put her name in there as a dedication.
I'm just busting.
And Dave, I miss Dave too. I mean, come on, Dave. He's in half of my videos saying this is a great author.
Hey,
blah,
at
blah,
least
blah.
they got copy number 28
Oh,
of
look
100.
at that. That's funny. She wanted that. So.
You should look at Jake's.
Yeah, well, that might have been a little fabricated, Jake's book. Jake, what number were you? Where's your book at?
Hey, give me your book number.
You.
Yes?
Oh, I got it. Now I have to go back and think of where you were. You were right after Laura. Is that what you want?
Yeah,
But there's only 100 books here, Car.
It doesn't matter. She got the extended version.
I want number 1 then, thank you.
Alright, sorry, that's taken. That ain't happening.
6.6.
You already gave it number 1 away.
I even wrote in it. I said 1 of 100, yo. Anthony, you are the man. I wrote it to myself. You're all that. What'd you say, 13? Write down what the heck I got here.
13. And Jake, really, you're gonna win this second round too?
I'm pretty sure I didn't win the first round.
not win the second round. Jake is pretty on top of all of this stuff.
Really, all my answers were smart answers. You didn't read. You weren't part of the team effort here.
No, you wouldn't let me be.
For 1918. So it says 13 of 100 signed at the Silver Dollar Saloon on April 19th, 2000. You're welcome. I have to write down what numbers I gave out.
You can't give out 69, 13, or 28. Or 1, apparently.
Well, listening.
I try not to.
Okay, number 10. What object on the top of Tweedledee and Tweedledum's
There it is.
beanies? What's on the top? Is it A, buttons, B, propellers, C, flags?
Which one? What's something that's not on top of there?
What's something? Yeah, which one is?
No, you're good.
No, which one? Which object is on the top?
Oh, it is on the
Yes, it's one of those three.
I
A,
wrote it down.
buttons. B, propellers. C, flags.
That doesn't have anything up there. Oh, they do have buttons on there. I guess they do have buttons on that. I don't think they have anything on there.
There's 2 more. Oh.
Number 11.
2 more questions.
I went to 10.
In The Wizard of Oz, what weapon does the Scarecrow carry? Is it A, a gun, B, a pitchfork, C, no weapon? C, no weapon. The Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, which weapon does the Scarecrow carry? A, a gun, B, a pitchfork, C, no weapon.
Oh, you remember me talking to you about that?
No, I just really knew that.
Oh.
Number 12. How many members are in the Village People? The band, how many members? Is it A, 4, B, 5, C, 6?
Should have made B4. That would have been cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
A, 4, B, 5, C, 6.
Uh-oh, we got a dance going on.
A macho man.
Scoring? Oh, we're done. We're scoring. And we got
Interview with Anne Vampire or the Vampire.
a vampire or the vampire. Which one did you put in?
A.
Okay.
The Vampire.
That's what it was in the other timeline. In this timeline, it's the.
Yeah. Well. Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
Can't we just do both timelines?
That's what I tried to talk to him about. How are we going to score this? Because, but the idea is your memory. I said we should score by their memory, but he said, nah, we got to go by this timeline. It's going to get too confusing. What if there's multiple timelines? So boom, we had to go by interview with a out of here, but that'll work. Give you a little tour. This piano here, Doc Holliday probably played piano on this. It's dated to where he would have been here at that time. To the people that frequented the Silver Dollar Saloon, Doc Holliday and his wife are up there in that picture. And up here we got the stage where we have a lot of older artifacts. This we just found downstairs in the basement. Yes, we just found it. It is a Wurlitzer. And it has been appraised at $14,000 broken. Okay. And just another old record player we found. This is the dining room. Customers. There's Eric. Hey. There's so much history in this place, I don't even know where to start. If I thought it would reach, I'd take you down the basement. But.
Nitley. I'm not so sure about that.
What was that?
Number 2. Dilemma. D-I-L-E-M-M-A. Occurrence. O-double-C-U-double-R-E-N-C-E. Berenstain. S-T-A-I-N. Folgers. F-O-L-G-E-R-S. Fruit Loops. O-O-T-L-O-O-P. Number 7. Febreze. F-E-B-R-E-Z-E. OxyClean. O-X-I. Haas Avocados. H-A-S-S. Drano. D-R-A-N-O. Looney Tunes. Double O. H-A-S-S.
It was A in another timeline.
He just shifted.
It just shifted, brother.
Looney Tunes. T-U-N-E-S.
That's what the whole book's about. You're gonna buy a book. That's what the...
N apostrophe crunch. Captain. Adidas. A-D-I-D-A-S. Chevrolet.
What's this timeline?
Some
ADD for some people.
Couple of D's.
For some people, me included.
Just hold, yeah. Just to get it a second. Chevrolet. C-H-E-V-R-O-L-E-T. Skechers. S-K-E-C-H-E-R-S. Snap, Crackle with a C.
Anybody do K?
Yes,
Like I told
there
you?
was one. Lay, Z, L-A-Z, as in the letter, boy. Chick-fil-A, C-H-I-C-K, F-I-L-A.
Anybody get
Oscar,
that right?
yeah. O-S-C-A-R-M-A-Y-E-R.
I need a point for that.
And Vaseline, V-A-S-E-L-I-N-E.
Check it out.
Check my answer. I got a point there.
He's up a point.
Lose by.
So call out all the scores.
No.
No, is that what you do that? No.
I don't know
what to.
I literally changed 3 of these and then I got them wrong from the originals, and I would have had them right.
Really?
Bullshit. Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I
You
changed
them.
that. I changed that. I changed that. I added an E. I took an R off, and I put an A for an I. And
Wow.
an I had in, right?
Wow, well, that's how I remember spelling it.
Bullshit.
Oh, I thought it was a T.
No, it just brings me back to always go off,
like
you
a
know,
word
like
junior
first thoughts or whatever. Are always
Transfer.
You have 2 degrees and you got all those wrong?
Not in
I won't say where I went
Mandela
to
Effects.
school.
Maybe you didn't go to college in this timeline. No? Yeah, right? Me neither. I don't know. I'm wasting money and time. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out, I guess. I've already signed the 6 books I sold. You're very welcome. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Hasta luego. So, well, I got 13 people on here.
Numbers.
Oh, enjoy your shirt, bro. So, that was actually kind of fun.
The energy of the bar is very scattered, but what she does with it is that she rounds the edges. So even though there might be a lot going on down there, or there might be nothing going on down there, the energy that is in that space, she rounds and she softens the edges.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, that there's love, that there's connection, it's safe, she's not going anywhere. You know, cats will wander off if they've done their job. They can actually wander off to another person anytime. So, you know, does she go outside? She hasn't told me that.
No, there has been no outside, but I have a porch that I am going to have fixed by spring that they'll be outside on.
Oh, so they'll have a screened-in porch.
Screened-in porch, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Probably put cat towers out there too.
And the thing to really, as a guardian, owner, whatever, however you want to see yourself, you know, these are your kids and you're a parent. So, you know, letting them know, hey guys, you know, bar's kind of slow right now. I need to hang around. I was planning on going on my vacation because everybody knew you were going on your vacation, whether you said it or not.
Ooh.
But it's nice to oh yes, so it's nice for you just to verbalize that and bring it out for clarity. They already knew you were going.
Wow.
And yeah, because they perceive things. They don't know about future stuff. They just know what you're thinking, kind of.
Okay.
Or your emotions, whatever you want to say. Anyway, they already knew, But it's nice for you to remind them that, hey, it's coming up. Because they don't think in the future. So it's great for you, like, when you leave the house or you go downstairs, wherever you're going to go, hey, guys, I got to go to the grocery store. See you in about an hour or two. They don't know what an hour or two is, but they know that they will see you again.
Okay.
That's what they need to hear, is they see you again. So, yeah, just say, hey, I'm going to go on this vacation, and I think it's going to be around in a couple weeks. They don't know what a couple weeks is, but it's not right now. And then you just, get closer. Just say, hey, well, now I've turned my plans up. I'm going to be heading out to wherever, and this is when I'll be back. And guess what? Jade's going to come up and spend some time with you. Okay? So that way they're clear, you're clear, and because again, see, they're on that different plane. I don't know if I can't remember if it was you or somebody else I did this with, but I think of the communication spectrum like a rainbow. Each species is communicating on a different color, not in a sign. You know what I'm saying? So like we might speak on the blue. Cats might speak on the red. But there's a different wavelength. There's a different space where communication is flowing between species. Does that make sense?
Yes. That works for me.
It was the easiest analogy I could think of to explain to this person that think of it this way, because it's hard for people to think in such an abstract that sitting above my head at 6 inches is another communication.
Oh no, you can talk to me like that.
I know. But the rainbow came easier. So anyway, so think of it that way. So yeah, even though you will be on vacation, that you can still be in communication with them. You will still, if you get an inkling like, oh, something's wrong, call Jade up and find out. Send her up there and say, hey, go check on those cats. Again, trust your gut, trust your instincts.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, because you knew. And the thing about, I want to go back to the thing about the claws on Prince, using his claws versus just using his pads.
Mm-hmm.
He backed off to his teeth because his teeth are going to be a little bit more forceful, but it is about attachment. It is about, I belong here.
He can scratch me.
It is about,
I don't have a problem with it. I don't mind him scratching me.
Right, but he didn't know that.
Okay.
He didn't know that,
Okay.
And again, when you don't want, let's say you don't want them to scratch you, you just hold their paws. Say no.
Okay.
And it's really the energy behind the words, not really the words. It's
Oh.
the energy behind the words. No, that's enough.
I
That's
get
my
that.
boundary.
I get that.
Yeah.
So there's a way I can explain to him that, yeah, go ahead and claw me, but, let go after a while?
Yeah, and let go after a while. Because what happens is they don't, that once, that becomes, okay, when the nails go in, that becomes something that's physiologic, not really mental. It's something that when they hold on to prey, or they hold on to what they got.
It keeps changing.
Changes all the time.
Suddenly, everything changes.
I know somebody that's published. You picked this out. That's fucking awesome.
Pick that out? No, my buddy John designed the cover. And I've been getting a lot of comments on this cover.
Okay, because my friend and I helped him proofread and everything they did about. We went through. There was this site that is like prepaid or something, and like you can use that stuff without. I don't know. But we just picked something random, but that is freaking cool.
Every word, every sentence that I read comes out in your voice, and it is exactly you're talking at somebody through the book, right? Like if they didn't know you, right, they'd be like, "Who is this guy?" But because I know you, it's like I'm sitting reading a conversation
Great.
that I'm having with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this little pattern.
Okay with you? And we'll start with the one I always start with. What color is a yield sign?
Yellow.
How many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
4.
3.
Okay. This is where the Monopoly man wears glasses, a monocle, or nothing at all. Monocle. We got a monocle. Anything else? You're allowed to guess differently or answer differently. Remember the monocle? Okay. The Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow carries what weapon?
Broom.
think you're on something there. Fire? Do you remember him carrying a weapon? Maybe? I don't remember him carrying a weapon. I guess that's kind of a trick question. Oh, so many more questions I could ask you guys. What stripe is right under the blue stars on a flag? Red or white? White. Yes. Say yes. I recall red. That's just me and a few other people. There are 6 people in the car when JFK was murdered.
Okay, 3. 4. No, 3. 2 up front.
So there was only 2 seats, right?
Connolly, Kennedy, and his wife.
Ready? It
The
was
driver.
2, 2, and 2.
Oh, 6.
You're just going to agree with that? You're going to accept that? Because I studied it in the 80s. There was 4 people. William Greer, Governor Connolly, and the Kennedys. That's it. You watch that film now, there's 6 people, and the car's longer, and there's a bar in the middle of it. And how's that possible? That's impossible, right? Kit Kat no longer has a dash. I remember Kit Kat always having a dash. The white stripe is under the flag. I remember red. What was the other questions I asked you? The yield sign. The yield sign's never been yellow. What shape would you think it is? Triangle. Or it's an upside down triangle. Okay. It is a red upside down triangle, and it's always been red. Well, there's possible information out there that it was yellow in 71. Which one of us was driving in 71? Well, maybe him, but I. Who was driving in 71, right? No, but we all remember the yellow yield sign. I've had a bunch of experiences, paranormal, supernatural experiences that showed me, and this was one of them, changes in history. Okay, I've seen all these changes in history, and so do a lot of other people, and that's the one that went commercial. Do you want to know what happens when you buy my book? I'm elated over this, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is. This is what happens when, I don't know, I'm just kidding. Someone did purchase my book, and then they just broke out into a dance. I don't know. I'm seriously in a position where I'm not chasing or paying attention to Mandela Effects. Mandela. And I was listening to a CD the other day, and it's Venus and Mars, Paul McCartney, 1975 it came out. Spirits of Ancient Egypt. Anybody that's familiar with the album, please go listen to that song. Tell me what's wrong with it. You might want to click off now because I'm going to say it. Paul McCartney's not singing that song. Now, I know he didn't sing Medicine Jar, which is the next song. I know somebody else sang Medicine Jar, and I guess it's this Lane guy, Denny Lane, that is singing Spirits of Ancient Egypt, but it wasn't like that before. And I could just, when I hear it, I'm cringing, because I'm like, it was so much better when Paul was singing it. And that's a 100%er for me. No doubt in my mind. Spirits of Ancient Egypt was sung by Paul McCartney. And Medicine Jar was sung by probably Denny Lane or somebody else. That's, I always knew that because I always went through that. I was like, why isn't Paul singing this song? I said, oh, well, you know what? It's a band thing. It's not just a solo artist. It swings. So they're going to have other people singing it. So I don't know. It's just, wow, you getting that? That's not going to work. That used to be Paul, guaranteed. For me, you know what? This might have been the way it was for a lot of people. Who knows? Not really worried about it. I'm so, I want to say beyond Mandela Effects or over them, or I'm not. You know, they still get me and they still hit me, but there's something else to be done with this. Monday nights and Saturday night, if I could have anything to do with it, probably won't have the sound up, but got this show. Of course, they're scrolling around. There we go.
Did you all know that a wild boar, say you have a tame pig,
Mandela Monday show.
Will actually grow
and it's blasting here in the Silver Dollar Saloon for all these people. I actually have it on one of the TVs now.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, check it out.
So I think that's pretty cool. I'll be playing that. It's mud season. There's no business. At night, the afternoons we're catching light. Listen, I haven't been posting anything because I lost my phone, and the internet went down here a little bit, and then we got it back on, and now I'm going to cancel my internet upstairs. There is a reason. There is a reason, believe me. I've actually started writing my second book. It's like the first one was so successful. And I think it was really great. I got out the information I wanted to get out. So that's all that mattered to me. Dan's speaking. Let's see what he's got to say.
Turn into a board, and at that point, that's something you don't want to mess with. All right, so what else do we have, Fizzy?
The mask is gold.
The mask is gold.
All right. I'll be catching most of that now, and maybe I'll catch even more at the beginning of it. I think I missed the beginning. All right. Here we go. Let's bring it in. Yanni versus Laurel. Brick versus break. This has happened to me. Last year. It's on my video with the wall. I have sat down next to people, listened to the wall, and I hear break clear as day. They hear brick. I don't disbelieve them. I just found it strange, and then I'd be listening to the same recording, and then I would hear brick when I was with somebody else and alone, and it would go back to break. Now when I listen to that disc, it's always break. I'll listen to it online, and it switches back and forth. This came up for me last year, and I can't recall if I placed it in the book. I do mention the wall, but I don't know why I didn't come up with that and why I didn't throw that in there. There's quite a few experiences, maybe 3 or 4, that I've recalled after reading the book. Now when I read my book, I'm not reading it to edit it. I'm reading it and enjoying it, and I'm remembering, recalling stories and events that took place that I just didn't write about in there. And I've already got them right in the beginning of the next book I'm writing. But this Yanni Laurel thing, I'm hearing Laurel straight up. And I believe everybody that says they hear Yanni, I believe them. But I think this is very similar. So what is this? Is this the next thing? This is just... See, it looks to me like there's different forms of the Mandela effect. And that this is just another form. With us recalling visual things differently and words and songs changing. I mean, it's not like some people are hearing what it used to be. They're changing. We're hearing something different. And now we got this thing where different people are hearing different things. Okay, with the visual Mandela effects, you know, you tell somebody, you know, or ask them what color is a yield sign, and they say yellow. And when I ask them what shape, most of the time they say triangle. They don't say upside down triangle. They don't really specify. And you know, that changes for them. Now they'll always see the red upside down triangle after you bring it to their attention. But this is different, you know. So what's going to happen when, you know? And I've said this to people. I said each of us are in our own dimension, and this is breaking it down. Each of us are in our own dimension, and we're all within the same timeline that has the same parameters. So when a change, when we shift, and we're all kind of shifting within the same parameters, a bunch of us are seeing the same change. But now, when there's three people talking, one person might hear one thing from somebody, and this other person might hear, when two people are talking and one's listening. I mean, you may be having a conversation with more than one person and hearing different things. And I don't, you know, and I'm not jumping all over the scientific, you know, some pitches are lower, some pitches are higher, because why are people hearing Yanni one day and then Laurel the next? Why was I hearing break most of the time and then sometimes brick on the same disc? It's not the tone. Our ears are younger. I mean, to me, that's, what are they coming up with? This is just more baloney that they're just feeding us. It's something else. So with this sound thing, I mean, the communication between us could change. You know, hey, go get the red book, and, you know, tell two people to get the red book. One comes back with red, one comes back with blue. What's going to happen if that gets deeper? Or is this just something to show people, you know, physical reality is not what you've been taught, not what you've been showed. They've lied to you about everything. I heard somebody mention that a couple of people are out there on YouTube, love to give you credit, don't know who, that came up with the idea, because I heard it third party, fourth party, whatever, because I'm not really listening to a lot of videos, and I just go in, get pieces and whatever. And I've been ignoring the Yanni Laurel thing. I've been ignoring anything that's fear-mongering, even touching on it. You don't need it. Get rid of it. That's a serious thing. I mean, I'm so addicted to videos and just watching a movie that I'm sitting there saying, don't do it. I go sit down. Now, I did it last night, and I felt awful. I've been feeling great because I took 3 weeks off. I'm jumping into the next topic, with not finishing up this Yanni Laurel thing. Let me do that first. Okay. On my way to Glenwood Springs, Hot Springs, and I walked 20 minutes in the wrong direction. It was a beautiful walk. This is absolutely amazing. And so now I'm walking back, you know, the other way, taking my good old time. And, you know, it was funny because I just thought, it's the journey. It's not about the hot springs, because this is just incredible.
Find anything an absolute definition, I find the extreme need to break away from it, because it's not just about love and hate. It's not just about night and day. It's
Republican and Democrat.
It's not just about neutrons and protons.
On separate.
You know, it's not just dualistic, because there are many spectrums.
Sure.
I live in the gray area, so I can tell you all about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Around.
Yeah.
The in and the out.
It's not just about that.
But what pushes the internet, what pushes the need to breathe in and breathe out?
That's what life is.
That's perspective. That's perception. That's individuality. That's ego.
If it's ego so much.
Oh, because you hate the word ego.
Yeah, see, I have a problem with that.
It's not about the right hand.
Apologize for.
It's not about the right hand. No, don't apologize. Be you, please. Be fully you. I would not want people to think like I think, because then we'd be like. I would not want anybody else to be like me.
Yeah, there's black and white.
I need you to be
but
you
there's
in all of your
something that.
So here I am in the Silver Dollar Saloon, and I got a surprise guest. Rain on the Plains came in to visit. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Yes, it is me. And yes, I am visiting Suso, and I'm so happy to be here with him. It is awesome. And so, yes, I am real. He might be the only one to know that I'm real. But he will know that I am a real live human being.
She's real. And I thought I'd have Dan in the background. That'd be neat. So you're good at, who said they're good at medical?
Me.
Yeah?
Yeah, not medical history, but. Well, I mean, I'm just a nurse, so if you give me nursing stuff, I got you.
I'm not sure how to ask these questions because this isn't my...
Then don't ask them. I don't want to answer.
I mean, I could ask stuff like, where's the heart located?
Well, I can tell you that.
In your chest. Now, where are you pointing? You're pointing on the left side? Yeah.
Yep.
Because now, it's actually closer to the center.
Well, it's like right in that area.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Does the liver look bigger to you now?
Does it look bigger to me?
Yeah.
Because I'm drinking?
No, forget it. This is a bad, you like to eat liver? This is a bad way to start this conversation. Let's start it out with, what color is a yield sign?
What color is it? What?
Yield sign.
Yield sign? Red and white. Is it yellow?
Yellow,
It's
red
yellow.
and white, yellow. White.
Yeah, it's
White.
yellow. It's yellow with the
What shape is it?
triangle.
Oh, upside down. Anybody remember the diamond? Like it's a box on its side? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
No? Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, I'll tell you the answer later. How many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated? Three,
I said
five,
three.
and I don't know is the best thing you could ever say to me. Or was it 4? Three. No.
3.
In the back, one in front.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that scene, but I've never questioned it, even though I thought there was 4. TV show with the 4 girls running around New York City.
Sex in the City?
Spell the first 2 words.
S-E-X? Wait.
S-E-X is the first word.
S-C-I-T-Y. No, and. A-N-D.
A-N-D or I-T? I give up. Don't give up. It's good. It's good.
It's not Golden Girls, I don't care.
All right, one more. What's a good one? I don't know. When in the Wizard of Oz, when the evil witch or whatever she was lets the flying monkeys out of the cage, she says,
Go get them, my pretties. Something like that.
"How about fly something? Maybe." Okay.
I've never
I'll just give you. I remember "Fly My Pretties Fly."
There you go. Pretty good. Pretty solid, dude.
That's pretty solid. Okay.
Give you full credit.
That answer is actually just "fly, fly." She just says "fly, fly." That's all she says.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird. The yield sign is an upside down red triangle. It has never been yellow.
Bam. You should have been paying attention.
I'm thinking
We're
of
in Salida
Destiny.
going through those all day.
I know, right? That's what.
They all got their answers. Sex in the City is Sex and the City. It's not in, it is and. Yeah, what was the other one?
Sex and the rest is just.
If you think it's in?
I take Golden Girls still.
There's always one. There's always one. So there are, you ready for this? This is when you have to brace yourself. There are 6 people in the car when JFK was assassinated, and there's always been 6 people in that car.
Say 5.
Where
were
5 first,
How do
and then
you
you
fit
said
6
4.
in that car?
I'll show you the picture as soon as I hang up the
I
phone.
mean, it was a big body convertible.
This is yours. I think everybody passed.
Everybody passed. No, I passed. I asked her when she came in. I get my
I
text.
think you failed really bad.
No, there are 6 people in that car. in this timeline. That's the key. In this timeline. Your consciousness shifted into another timeline. I think it's been going on naturally throughout time. It's all in my book. I don't got time to explain it. I actually wrote a book on this. You ever hear the Berenstain Bears? Okay. Our dominant consciousness resided in the timeline where it was spelled, the last part was S-T-E-I-N. Everybody remembers that. Do you agree? Berenstain?
Can't remember that.
They didn't show up for me until 2012, but that's another story. It's actually S-T-A-I-N in this timeline. Your consciousness shifted into another timeline where it's always been S-T-A-I-N. Cool. Is that it? Is that what this timeline's going to show me? Cool. Neat. Wow, this is so cool. Nothing? I'm getting nothing?
Hey, what about, I got a question for you.
Oh, Lord.
How come everyone calls sherbet if it's always been spelled sherbet?
You know what's funny about that? That is one of these things. It's called the Mandela Effect, and that is, I've actually read that. I didn't resonate with that one. I didn't really sure which way it was spelled or pronounced or anything else, so I didn't really jump on that bandwagon.
I mean, you ask anybody, they'll all say sherbet. I feel like the majority will, but it's
What is
always
it?
been spelled
Sherbet?
sherbet. Sherbet. Yeah, it's always been B-E-T, not B-E-R-T.
There are thousands of changes in history that, well, tens of thousands of people all over the world, mostly the United States, it seems, have noticed changes in history. It can't be explained. I mean, and how is that possible? Now, instead of going into, I'm just going to shut you guys down, wave bye. There you go.
Cheers.
Nice. They're talking about the Mandela Effect back there. And I got these guys up here.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know what he means by that. It almost sounds like you don't have that.
Well, he's
So, I have to do it myself tonight. It's kind of slow. I need to, I have a lot of ideas that I have not been writing down. I went on a Dark Wolf's Den and just started blurting stuff out. Stuff that I need to write down and document. My ideas about what's going on. What things that have been going on after I wrote the book and the people I've met after the book. So, we'll see. I've never recorded on here before. This is good. That looks like a good picture. Sorry, what's your name?
Kendra.
That's right, Kendra.
Yes,
I apologize.
and I have never heard
Kendra has had several people hand her this book.
Absolutely. I have heard of this years ago. I've heard of the Mandela Effect.
Well, yeah, the Mandela Effect,
Oh,
but the book. You say people have actually
the
handed you
book.
that book?
I have actually seen this book before, but not with this cover. That's what I know. That's why I'm saying it's so weird.
Wait, so you took... It's not. It can't be that
I have
book with a
heard of this
different
Mandela-
cover. I just published it last month.
Well, I am having a hard time believing that.
That's so hard.
It cost me $250. That's how.
Oh, you just paid the envelope.
I did it. Yeah,
Wow.
it was.
I'm really
How many
psyched.
copies did they print?
500. It's a bit much. It was my first book. I didn't know. I probably got away with $250.
Yeah.
But it almost comes out. It was like, I think I spent $200 more than I would have by putting it out as 500.
You're published. It doesn't really matter.
It didn't really matter. I'm published. I'm good.
So you read you understood about the Mandela Effect?
Yeah, I was affected by it in 2015.
However it affected you, you wrote your own piece on it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of other paranormal, supernatural things that happened to me during that experience. And the Mandela Effect went commercial. It was all over YouTube and all over online.
Okay, maybe that's what
And then
swear. But I did not. Maybe
I'm
I
sitting here
thought it was
going, great, she saw
Me
my book
too. I'm
last
like,
year.
well, I really no. It's so weird. I swear it did. I'm not even kidding.
So,
It's weird though.
yeah, I had a lot of other strange things happen, and I put it out on YouTube, hoping maybe, well, let's see, everybody's on YouTube talking about the Mandela Effect, so maybe other people will come out and say, yeah, this happened to me too, or whatever. That happened a couple of times, but not a lot. I've had a good 9, 10, 11 weird experiences, and I just wrote them all down, and somebody published a book last year, and I thought, I really got to get this thing published. I gotta put my book out and try it, see what happens.
And you did it.
So I wrote it. My friend John did all the pictures, all the artwork, designed the cover, and Jade, when the barmaid on day shift, she edited it.
Wow.
And I mean, I honestly, I don't really have a lot of complaints about it at all.
No, I think it's great. It's well written. I like it. I like the typeface.
A lot of people say that. They're like, oh,
yeah,
good,
I like the typeface.
the
and
letters
font
are
size.
big.
I know. Because you did what, a 14 font? 16? I mean, it's a high font. It's a nice typeface.
I know it's 5.5, 8.5.
Because that's, you want to read a book fast like this. You don't want to read it stuck too long. You want to skim. Because then it helps you connect to all the things that you're feeling and thinking about.
Yeah. Well, this was my experiences. I mean, I had communicated with stars, orbs, told me not to eat meat while I was having a cigarette and drinking a beer.
Wow.
You know, so.
Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just.
Then you go back and watch that.
You know, let them see the bar, check it out, say hi to Alex.
See what you find in there.
Who wrote the other book? Doc.
Who painted that painting up there?
I don't know.
The thing is, if you think about, like, what is happening?
Huh? Nothing. Don't stop now.
Clearly.
I have 170 videos on YouTube. I need new material.
When you think about the first book of Adam and Eve and how the sin happened, basically all Eve's sin was wanting to know more. So basically, what Christianity and Catholicism tells you is not to experiment, not to want to know more, that knowing more and having any idea, basically, of any other knowledge, having any idea of why you're doing the things you do is incorrect. So, by Christianity's definition, science is incorrect and a sin, because wanting to know more and trying to figure out problems that you've never solved before is wrong, because God gets pissed off and gets butthurt.
So like for me, it's that I think that it originated with the fact that people are really scared to die, and they can't mentally handle the fact that that's it. And so something was created as a crutch to allow them to get on through life instead of having to deal with it mentally, because it challenges you. And like just knowing that it's gonna end it's a hard thing, and even as an atheist, that was really hard for me to deal with as well. Like
Also,
I had to overcome those challenges.
Going off what you're saying is the unknown is completely scary to every human being.
Exactly.
So having something that is super concrete.
Yeah.
But the thing is logic kind of defies what Christianity has. So there's really no logic embedded in
I think it was just controlling. I think it was a way to control the masses.
Because
I mean,
if you think
like,
about it, so
you're scared of this, let's go ahead and tap into that, and we're going to create this thing, and we're going to be able to control it.
Yeah, because it was controlled by the
something
rich. Because why is the King James Version called the King James Version? Because the King James sat on the throne of Rome, and any king of Rome was able to completely define and change any of the Bible's words to fit what he wanted his citizens to do. And that's a fact. And also, Jesus is not the first Jesus that happened. So his archetype of a God that died 3 days, died and then rose in 3 days is actually it's in all mythologies.
I found 36 dying gods.
Exactly. So it's not the only thing that
Step aside from the actual science and intelligent belief, also at the same time, people who are religious tend to be really holy.
Yeah, they're always judging everybody.
I'm just saying, like, that tends to be a thing.
And you said what?
What says you realize that it's written by a person, and you realize that it's not right.
Right, because people are flawed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there was, I don't remember the exact number, but there were several historians at the time of Jesus' existence, per se, and not a single one of those historians actually wrote on the fact that Jesus existed, which would have been a huge story for them to write on. They would have definitely wanted to jump on that and write against him for the Roman government, because that was the thing that they would want to do. One historian wrote on him, and it was found to be falsified. So there's really no proof of his actual existence.
And also, let's talk about the fact that the highly percentage of people who are religious have never actually read
Well, especially Catholics. I was brought up Catholic. I think I read,
It
you know,
just
2
doesn't-
passages. You know, he died
I
for
would
my
bring up,
sins.
which
and,
comes down to the fact that I think people are scared to die. I 100%, that's why it has continued.
And it's a
It's
social
because
thing.
people
We're
don't
social
want to believe
creatures.
that's it. They can't mentally handle it. And it really did take me a long time as an atheist.
Same. I used to be a worship
religious
leader.
person to deal with that.
Yeah,
Like, that's
really
it.
agree. Like,
Holy shit.
I used to be a
Once
worship
he
leader.
dies,
I
that's
started a
it.
prayer group. Like
It's
that's how I grew up.
Yeah. I have met atheists who turn Christian or like religious just for a moment as a crutch because someone they were really close to died and they just could not mentally handle it. And so they had that, they were like, okay, I'm going through it, it allowed me to kind of get through it, and then they
All stories are a form of control, and that's just how it is, because it's not necessarily a bad thing, but humanity has survived based on our societal way of evolving and helping each other be better. So the thing is like, when you have a mass group of people, you have to be able to be working towards a same basic goal. And in order to do that with the masses without being able to educate them and tell them these things is to have stories. And stories have been the way that humans have improved their entire life. We've always passed down stories and been able to improve on ourselves. And religion has been one of the things that have been the base of that, is that we have told these religious groups, and based on that same belief, that same belonging, we've been able to progress. It's become irrelevant.
And this is what started this conversation. She purchased my book. And she's looking forward to reading that. Thank you. Nice chat, guys. I appreciate it. You have to check out my channel. I'll have to write it down for you. Fiona Broom put up a little column. I think it was middle of April. Your memories are real. And yeah, memories are real. They might not be real in this timeline, dimension, realm, reality, whatever. But they're real and they're yours.
He makes me feel the same way when we talk.
Whatever, man, you can do it too. This takes time and pressure. Patience. How do you make diamonds? Coal?
Time
Heat,
and pressure?
and time. We're all coal. The great work is alchemy. It is refining ourselves from the lead-based animalistic thing we are to something better.
Have that
Through any form of fashion.
They can get
Usually
that
art,
toned down.
creation.
Anybody need a drink?
Yeah.
You drink it.
Fucking A. Jameson.
Hey?
I guess my point is with the Yanni Laurel thing, the brick to break, communication might get distorted, you know, when we're trying to communicate with each other. And I'm sure it's happened quite a few times, you know. Hey, before you go on vacation, make sure you take care of the change bank. You know, that's what I heard. And it was, you know, hey, before you go on vacation, you know, make sure you change your oil. I mean, whatever, communication could be getting distorted. I still think it's more of a sign. I don't know why it's out there, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that would have came up. Laurel Yanni, the guy had to create that. And if it's a pitch thing, then yeah, it's deception, because more things are going to be coming up and people are going to hear different things. I just saw a video recently that it's I Am the Walrus, the Beatles. It's either his or the in the song. I clearly hear the. I've always heard the my whole life. Standing in the English garden waiting for the sun is what I've always heard, and people are claiming they're hearing his son. Funny thing is when I first listened to this, I'm like, it's the sun. It's always been the sun. It's, you know, because I'm thinking Mandela Effect. They're changing it. I'm like, no, I hear the. Then it hits me with this, you know, brick and break. And I'm like, how dare I say they don't hear his son or her son? It's not his son. It's her son. Okay, that's what they hear, her son, instead of the son. I'm hearing the son, and other people are hearing her son. And that's fine. It goes along the same lines. It's no different. It's the same kind of thing. Now, what's been going on with me? Ever since I had the book published, I did a big interview on Scarab Performance's channel. That was fun, enjoyable, and I've really been enjoying his show lately. But I unplugged after that. I unplugged a little bit. It wasn't anything, you know. Wasn't as much as I set out to do. Okay, so of course I start getting all kinds of commercials coming up on my phone, like ridiculous. Like every time I touch the thing, it's a commercial. Like, what is this? Now it's telling me, you know, I took it away on vacation and I would leave it in the room and go out. I'm talking to more people. I'm interacting with more people. I'm noticing more. I'm seeing changes, and they don't, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have to remember to write that down, and I don't, and then I forget what it was, and I forget where, you know, it just doesn't matter. To me, that's chasing Mandela effects. It's not what I'm doing anymore. I've moved on from that, but I'm still noticing them, and I'm still seeing them. Somebody brings one up, I notice it, I see it. And what did that mean? What did the changes mean? You know, is physical reality, the structure, the molecular structure of physical reality actually changing? You know, or is our consciousness actually shifting through timelines to create motion in time so we could experience physical reality? You know, what was that showing us? You know, that people's names are changing and everything else. The only thing that made sense to me was quantum, infinite, and we're shifting timelines. That answers everything. You know, I mean, so in the book I told everybody, look, you should write a book or paint a picture or do something to express yourself rather than sit down and watch a TV show. And I've done that. I did that for it was almost 3 weeks. I don't know. You know what? The only way I'm going to be able to time that is to go back to Scarab Performance's show and find out when I did that. I did that show. I kind of started putting the phone down. I would limit my time on the computer, and I'd head downstairs. Now, those weeks, there were shifts going on, and I only noticed it after I came out of my funks, okay, because I'm picking up other people's garbage, and when these shifts take place, and once I realize, hey, that's not me, I snap out of it. I say, hey, that's not me, and I go grab my unified field device, slap it over me, and, you know, half hour later, it's almost like a pill. So I'm thinking that's really a placebo, this unified field device. I'd say it's worked for me, but at the same time, yeah, maybe it calmed me down and made me feel physically better. But was that stopping me from experiencing a few Mandela effects or a change or a shift or something, noticing something? Because when I'm going through these things, I don't know it. You know, it's not like I go, oh, there's a shift going on. Let me pay attention. You know, I'm walking around going, why am I in a bad mood? You know, what's going on? So now, doing this, taking myself, like downstairs at the bar, when I'm behind the bar, I don't put the TVs on unless somebody asks. There's always one up front, on probably two, especially if there's a game, hockey game or something going on. But I don't look at them. I don't think it matters. They're on. Okay, I think, you know, I probably get a blast here and there. In the back of the bar, there's 5 TVs. I'll shut 4 of them down, leave one on if I can. I come upstairs to watch a TV show that, you know, I think, okay, this is distracting me. I just did all that at the bar. Let me come up here and distract myself. What happens most of the time is I'll pop YouTube on first, and I'll find somebody's show and start watching that and get into that, and that's great. Because if I'm going to sit here and destroy myself by looking at these things, TVs and phones and whatnot, then I'll do it through YouTube and with the information coming out there, because I can discern fairly quick what somebody's talking about. usually I go on the YouTube and that's what happens. Well, last night I jump on Amazon Prime. You know, for the life of me, I'm like, why did I even buy that? You know, but I did. I have that and Netflix. I think I've almost completed Netflix. That's a joke. So I go in and I'm watching this show that 3 weeks ago I started and I was enjoying, and now I'm not even not enjoying it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, I'm like sitting there looking at it, and I'll be looking around my room looking for something else to do. I think, you know, maybe I want to go play chess, or I'll play chess online. Even that's become mundane because it's online. I don't care if it's other people or not. I've just noticed that recently because, and I think it has a lot to do with the last 3 weeks. I slowly weaned myself off of things. And the hardest one, you know, I remember, you know, and I'm not feeling this way now, but before the first week, I was like, I want to call people and talk to them. I wanted to, you know, I knew Photo Helix was going through like surgery. I wanted to chat with him, and I wanted to call Scarab and explain, you know, hey, I'm going to be getting off soon, and just to talk, just to chat as friends, talk to Scott, tell him the same thing, you know, yeah, you guys might not hear from me for a while or whatever, and I'm like, you know, I wouldn't put my phone down. After I was for a little bit, now I wouldn't. Now all of a sudden, boom, I lose my phone 3 weeks ago. So I'm like, you know what? I was going to put it down anyway. Let me just forget about it for a while. So I realized within 2 days, I need it for the bar to communicate with these people here. You know, so I was like, great. So I probably go a week and a half without it until they were all like, look, you got to get a phone. I go out and get this phone, and I figured, let me get the best one. I'm, you know, spending money. I want to take on vacation and all. I get the best phone, and things just pooping out on me left and right. I can't send any text. I have like everything on it, and I can't send text. I can only make calls once in a while. It tells me my memory's full. It's probably impossible. So the phone's totally shot. Now, yeah, glitched phone, bad phone, whatever. At this time in my life, I wasn't supposed to be on the phone. And that's what happened. I muddle through another week with this new phone, not even touching it. I don't care. You know, it's like normally you get a phone and you're like, okay, let me set everything up. I didn't even want to put phone numbers in it or anything. And I don't know how, because I don't have the chip. It was lost with the other phone. So I pop in some things, and I got everybody's number back on here, and I don't understand that. You know, I'm sure the other one was connected to something online that connected, and they spoke, and now here I am with all the information again. Totally bizarre to me. But technology is an incredible thing these days. But there's definitely something to getting rid of the electronics, and I really think it's about getting rid of them all the way. I mean, I'll sit here and go, don't watch the news, and go, you know, watch a clip of something in the morning. I don't, but I'm saying if I do that, it's the same thing. It's not. I'm just reinforcing that program, and it's like taking a drug. Okay, it's like alcoholism, and that's the way I'm taking it. It's like alcoholism, watching TV. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, doing your own videos. You know, it was like I wanted that. I needed to, at the very least, call the people that, you know, the people that are Mandela affected, that I have their numbers, and talk to them and say hello, and because I didn't have a phone. And I refused to get a, it's like I have all these small little clips of stuff that I took. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. And I got these things stored on here somewhere because I just have no urge to make videos. So that kind of dissipated away. The television, except for those movies every once in a while, dissipated, got away. Everything was slowly going, and I started to feel better. I mean, a lot better. And I go away on vacation, and I decide that the phone's going off when I'm not using it. And I did that. I shut the phone off, and I would go for a walk. I walked everywhere. I walked this whole little resort town, hit vapor caves and hot springs, and ate at good restaurants, and just relaxed and walked everywhere. And wouldn't so much meditate. When I got home, it wasn't TV. That TV in that room did not go on. I put my phone on a couple of times and shut it off and went and go grab my book, and I started reading my book. And that's what I did through my vacation. At night, right before sleep, I'd read my book. There was one video I caught during my vacation about a guy talking about blue lights versus yellow lights, where back in the day we all used to have this yellow light and this yellow glow haze when we would turn the light on. We also used to have a yellow sun. Now we have this sun that is like a halogen lamp, and these LED lights that you can get for 59 cents down the street. And they're energy savers, so why wouldn't we? So we're saving money too. So we go out and we fill our house with these blue lights, which the phrase was, they're killing us, and that could have been paraphrasing, but it was explained to me that there's some kind of energy wave in this light that it hits our brain through our eyes, I'm sure, and is probably dumbing us down, controlling us, making us stay awake. It makes us stay awake. That's what I heard. I don't know. I'd have to look into that more, and I do plan to. I found that interesting while I was on vacation. I did that. I looked at that video, but that was it. It was all reading for me, and I talked with so many people. I sold a few books. I gave a few away to some bar people that I figured would open up their mouth and start talking about it. The price on, by the way, and it was, I'm not going to go into the next subject. The vacation was fantastic. There's a story that's going along with it because I think I shifted at least once when I was out there. See, I'm putting this stuff in my book, and the second book, and this is what I'm trying to tell people. If you need information, you're going to get it from the universe. You don't have to go to YouTube. The universe, the multiverse, God, the divine matrix, the universal mind. I hate labeling it, period, because it doesn't have thoughts and feelings, and it's not going, oh, and yay, and oh, all right, I'm rooting for you. Good job, you got it. That's not what's going on, okay, with God. Whoa, that topic's not even written down. And that's just my opinion. During the vacation, I was having a conversation with a girl. One of the things I did was ask her about the flag. Always go backwards with this thing. And what color is right beneath the stars? And she said red, plain as day. This could be the Yanni Laurel thing. She said red, plain as day. A lot of people say, oh, she said both, red and white. Well, I heard red. And I went through all the other Mandela Effect questions, and she got them all wrong, or right, depending on how you're looking at it. And so she was totally affected. And I went through all the answers, and she's got this wild look on her face. And I said, yeah, you missed them all, because look at the flag behind you. And she turns around and looks, and she's like, I said white. I'm like, no, absolutely not. So I'm like, okay, could it be a Yanni Laurel thing, or did I actually shift? Well, I guess it would be the same thing. Could be. But I think back to the Laurel Yanni thing, this could be two people interacting with each other in their own dimension, and both of them being timelines with slightly different parameters. Where I was saying we're all interacting with each other because we are within the same parameters, in the same timeline, different dimensions. Now we're in different dimensions, different parameters, and we're still able to interact with each other. So that could be quite interesting. I also wanted to, last night, a girl comes at the bar, sits down in front of me. She's in there with her boyfriend, and she says, so tell me about this Mandela Effect thing. And she's got this grin on her face, and I'm just like, And I look over at the sous chef. I said, "Did you put her up to this? Did somebody tell you to come in here and do that?" I'm like, because I could just feel it. I'm like, well, here I go. And it never dawned on me that this person knew about the Mandela effect. But it ended up, she just looks at me. I don't know. Not 2 minutes went by. She should have held it on longer, but she goes, "I'm rain on the plains." I was like, "Oh my God." So I run around the bar, give her a hug. I've never seen her before because she doesn't put up her face on YouTube. We had that discussion too. I think it's fine. I think it's great that she's doing videos at all. Some people don't want to go out there. They have lives outside of fifth dimensional reality. They have three-dimensional lives and don't really want the exposure. Look, I really don't want the exposure, but I just don't care. I spoke when I first started doing this. I had a dialogue with Patricia Steer, and I was telling her, should I use my real name and should I put my face out there? And she was like, "Yes, absolutely. This gives it authenticity." So I thought, what? Why not? What am I afraid of? Why wouldn't I go ahead and do it? This is, my whole life I've never cared about what other people thought. So let me just do this. This is my thing. So I thought that was a big deal, and for me, but for other people, they don't feel that way, So no, yeah, Michelle is a real person. Rain on the Plains is a real person. We had a good time. We sat in the back and talked while Scarab Performance's Saturday night speakeasy show was on, and we talked back there, and it was nice. It was fun. The manager took care of the bar, the owner took care of the bar, so I could just go ahead and entertain Rain. So we talked for a couple hours. They stayed for a little bit, and then, quite a ride to get here just to visit me. I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I really expect more of that to go on. And after that experience, that was good. I don't have a problem with people sneaking up on me like that. That didn't bother me. I mean, this was my first day back from my vacation, my first night. So she could have came up any day and missed me, and she had no idea if I was going to be here or not. So my first day back from vacation was Friday. I even hit the hot springs and vapor caves Friday afternoon before I came back. Got back, chilled out that night. Next day, get ready to go to work, and it was my first day back, and she's there. So, look, I don't have a problem with being surprised like that. I think it was kind of fun. If the bar is real busy, not going to be able to chat a lot, I hope you hang out anyway. If it's real slow, we'll sit and have a beer or whatever, if I'm drinking then, because I sure shouldn't be. One of the other things wasn't just the electronics, it's the beer and, everything else that goes along with things that I think are bad for me. If I think something's bad for me, I need to stop, or I need to stop thinking it's bad for me like I've done with cigarettes. I was on Dark Wolf's Den's interview, and I smoked like a fiend. I watched that video. I'm like, oh my God, I'm lighting up another one? I didn't even know it. Right in the beginning of the video, it was cracking me up. The first thing you hear is, "You mind if I smoke?" He's like, "No, go right ahead." And I just smoked them like crazy. But, now it's like right now, I haven't had this. I had one cigarette with my coffee in the morning, and that's been it. And I have no desires to, I don't even care now talking about it. It doesn't matter. I'll have them when I have them. It doesn't bother me. If I could just do that with everything else. Oh, wait, I can do that with everything else. I also feel like because this is quantum, people are going to be, things are going to happen with people, fast for some people and slow for others. I feel like I've taken a back seat. I had all these experiences, and the Mandela Effect went commercial. And now we're having these other experiences, and like the Lonnie Laurel thing, Brick and Break. That happened to me last year, a year and a half ago, and now something similar is happening. I want to invite everybody to go listen to The Wall, listen to Another Brick in the Wall. All in all, it's just another break in the wall. All in all, you're just another break in the wall. That's what I hear. All in all, you're just another break in the wall. And throughout the album, I think once it says brick, once I hear brick, and the rest they say I hear break. Some people have told me they hear break. Wow, oh my God. And some people hear brick. And I invite everybody that's listening to this and their friends to go ahead and listen to it and find out what you hear. Tell me what you hear. I'd be very interested. I've done that so many videos, it doesn't matter. People have said it both ways. They're going to do the same thing with the Yanni Laurel thing. They're going to do the same thing with his and the. I guess that's it on the big stuff. I got a bunch of little clips I'm going to throw on the end of this. If this isn't like 3 hours long, I don't even know how long I spouted out here. Oh yeah, and the book is now available on Amazon, Kindle. Kindle, it's for $4, and on Amazon it's what did I put it up at? $14.77, like the original price I was going. Hey, if you're listening to this, you can get it for $8.50 plus shipping. At the link, I'll leave links below. But the Kindle, I still, it's a shame. It's my first book, okay? I'm pretty sure they're going to let me change the cover to the way it's supposed to be. I actually have the back of the cover on the Kindle, but I changed the words because I didn't know what I was doing. Let's just round it in a little ball and say, I didn't know what I was doing. But I think I can fix that. I think it's great that it's going to be on Kindle. And it's great that I get it on Amazon. But that's going to be up there within the next few days. Today's Sunday. All right. So now last night I was supposed to jump on Rain on the Plains 5 a.m. show. I think I got up at 5:30 and either missed it or she didn't get on. But I'm going to be trying to get up at 5 to chit chat with her about her little visit and the book. I'll try and get on her next show. And thank you, Wolf's Den, the Dark Wolf's Den. That was, I really enjoyed that video, even though I started to talk about personal stuff that I realized I had to stop talking about personal stuff because I was creating. And I think somebody said that in the chat, and I stopped. So that was pretty cool. Books on Amazon, Rain Plains, Laurel. This whole Yanni Laurel thing, why is it happening now? And not only that, all the scientific explanations, and it's never happened before. It's never, I'm going to try not to get too emotional. It's never happened before. Now it's happening. I'm looking forward to when you guys see the stars come at you, because if things are starting to happen that I've experienced, I experienced brick and break, hearing it in front of other people. They're hearing brick, I'm hearing break. Other people hear break, and and then they just don't get into it. Some people I've blown their minds, and they just go about their lives. What are they going to do? I mean, that's the thing. But I figure, what's the answer to it? I think our communication is going to take a turn here. We're not going to be able to communicate with people properly. Or maybe we should be doing it another way.Maybe we'll be communicating another way. I don't know. It's just theories. I'm going to go ahead and throw a few of these clips up. I went into some caves and stuff and touched Mother Earth. And so there might be some content in these things. I'm not even sure. And I'm not excited to do this, so I'm just going to throw it together. I'm not going to organize it. So according to that clock behind me, it looks like I did this for almost a half hour. Enjoy these clips. And actually, I'm probably only going to be doing videos once a month. If that, I think that's probably a good thing. They might be an hour long. What I plan on doing right now is this week I'm going to do a few interviews. I'm going to be on Michelle's Opinions and Rain on the Plains. And I've emailed a couple other people, so hopefully, and they get to send me their address so I could send them the book so I can do an interview. But what I'm going to be doing in the meantime is when I need to distract myself, I'm going to be writing my book. I also mentioned on Wolf's Den that I got some fictional books going, So I'll have plenty to write and plenty to distract myself with, but this is me experiencing this. Even though I'm writing the story, I'm experiencing that. I'm not just sitting there like a blob watching somebody else experience something. So and that's what I invite you guys to do. Write songs, write books, make videos. That reminds me, photo, I got to get that done.
Dark Wolf, I love Dark Wolf's channel myself. Dark Slayer 1, Dark Wolf's Dead.
Oh, wow.
Digital Intel.
I haven't commented in a while. Wonder if I'll be on there.
Media. Awesome. Faith, Hope, Love, and also
I was just on that guy's show right there, the guy in the middle. Dark Wolf Den. I was just on his show a couple of nights ago.
Faith, Hope, Love.
I don't know, like, when I go on and watch her play the scenes and stuff, I can't get my figured out how to type through that.
Jenny, for your sister, subscription or something? Jerry, run.
No, there's a chat on the side you should be able to talk on. Sure.
Oh, they're all sleeping on duty. Joanne, Steve, the second.
Did you try to, honestly though, man?
Casey.
Oh, yeah, this is great. That cracked me up. She sat there asking me about the Mandela Effect for the first 5 minutes before she told me who she was.
Michelle's opinion. Whiskey Bride. Nicholas Simpson. Open Stevie's Partner Ranch. No Way Radio. OP3 Crimson Partner Ranch. OU812. Party Puppy and Paul Adams both sporting a wrench. Puppy's as big as he says. Phyllis Whip. Robin Keneally sporting a wrench.
When you fear somebody or something, you're giving away your energy. Period.
I think I can see that sometimes. Well, just imagine if you were in the ocean and a shark on you and you were like scared to death.
They feel that.
Energy, or like you're not afraid of it. Fighting or something at the time.
It's called the Mandela Effect, and that's what went commercial. People are all over YouTube talking about the Berenstain Bears, are now the Berenstain Bears, and they've always been the Berenstain Bears. But everybody remembers them as the Berenstain Bears. You go home and look at your old books, it says Stain. What's that about? Who came into my house and changed my books? Right? So, because of the other experiences I've had, I've deduced, my theory is, the one I resonate most with is, your consciousness is the only thing that's real. And that's how you create motion in time, by shifting in and out, and through timelines to create motion. And something went wonky and went somewhere else. So we're on another timeline where the parameters of what we experience are just a little bit different, with just some history things. And I wrote a book about it. I just had it published last month, and it's about my experiences anyway. But it's called the Mandela Effect. If you're interested in it, you got to check it out. Say bye. I'm going to go ahead and wave bye.
Bye-bye.
To document that somehow. And that was the thing. You know, it's not like it was,
So you're all like half dying, and then you're like just controlling that to like swirling into a whole other dimension of consciousness.
I don't know if there was anything that happened in between or not. I just know that the first thing I'm thinking back on this now, and even after I wrote the book, number one, I didn't know I impaled myself. I think that's key. Number two, it was pitch black. So I couldn't see it. So there was no belief there for me. There was no belief of dying. There was no belief that I was even injured. I didn't feel anything. There was no pain. What I actually felt was, it was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. And I was on all fours. And I could feel something trying to get out of my bag. And all this stuff just started flooding into my head. Like, what's trying to get out of my bag? Oh my God, I've been impaled. There's going to be blood. Get to a phone. Don't lose consciousness. All this stuff just hit me, that quick. And, then I said, screw it, pushed myself up, flicked on the light, and the thing that I impaled myself was behind another table. Because my consciousness shifted into a timeline where there was nothing there. I did not hurt myself. I did not impale myself. Now, when I did finally...
The same normal reality.
Most everything was the same. Things did change for me, but I didn't notice it for about a week.
One of the things that changed was the location of the heart. Now, I impaled myself right where the heart used to be. And then a week later, I find out the heart's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit moved more to the right and closer to the center rather than all the way on the left. So I thought that was interesting. That's for using the left side. Well, now it's a little closer to the center and it's bigger, and the liver's bigger, and it's in two pieces, and the stomach's underneath the ribs now. And some people don't. Some people are like, yeah, that's the way it's always been. Okay, but I'm telling you, I remember the stomach being like right around here. Right here, and now it's up here. It's like you remember certain facts from your life that are completely different than most people live their lives and see the same, like thing you're talking about, but different facts entirely, and they live their lives that way, and then it's like totally like mixing together. Right, and because of that, when you get really old. And everybody's like, yeah, he's losing his mind, he's forgetful. Why? Because that's how he remembered. He shifted into another timeline. What are we going to do? Put him in the hospital, give him pills. Right.
Why don't you do now? Last a minute. Put your stuff on the market and make $1 million.
Real quickly here. I mentioned when a shift's going on, I don't feel right. And it hit me why. Dark Wolf touched on this as well. He's doing research on things like this. This is excellent. The magnesium thing I found very interesting. They say magnesium is being taken from our bodies right before shifts. Other things we've talked about right before shifts. I don't know if I did talk with him about this. There seems to be an order of things because there has not been any chemtrails, and I don't focus on them. I don't focus on when they're not there, but when I focus on that they're not there, I'm still focusing on them. But I've just thought about it, and while I was talking with him and said, yeah, I haven't seen any and haven't noticed any, and wasn't thinking about it, wasn't focusing on it. And he said something that made me think, wait a minute, what if there's a pattern here? We have, I said, there hasn't been any false flags. And he said, actually, today something horrible happened. I said, I don't even want to hear it, and I let it go. And we have a false flag a few weeks before a full moon. We get that marinated, our fear, our energy, the energy all gets marinated. Maybe they hit the sky with some chemtrails. The full moon's just about to come, and because either they caused the shift or they know the shift's coming. I tend to think they know the shift's coming. I think the full moons have a lot to do with it. So if they're doing that, putting a lot of people in fear and then shifting, then they're keeping them people in that timeline where they have control and there's fear and everything's going on in that direction. They may just be keeping three-dimensional reality going. It's quantum. It's infinite. It doesn't matter. It's up to us to get ourselves out of this if we want to. Maybe it's not even a matter of getting out of it. It's a matter of moving on. It's a matter of experiencing something else other than physical reality, or experiencing physical reality in another way. But the reason I jump back on real quick is these patterns. There could be patterns. The magnesium was brought up, and I feel that the reason that when a shift happens and I'm in a bad mood, it might not be that I'm picking up other people. It may be that I'm picking up other people, and the reason I'm picking up the other people is because I'm still nibbling on meat. Okay? Sexual release of energy, gossiping I'm not doing, thinking properly. There was in the beginning of the 3 weeks when I started this, I just couldn't get out of my head. I was, it was ridiculous. Thinking properly was not there. So yeah, I'm when a shift happens, I'm not going to be going through it smoothly because I'm not doing what the orbs set out to tell me to do. For me. I mean, for you, it may be something different, but I got a feeling a lot of those things are probably the same for a lot of people. You know, stand up straight, walk tall, know where you're going instead of having your head in your phone. I mean, these were all things that were on there, and I didn't even go through the list in the book or anything. But I'm starting to feel like the message from the orbs to me was, you do these things, you do the things you're supposed to do properly. The cigarettes and a beer once a week or twice a week is not going to bother you. Eating meat the way you do, and the sexual release of energy, and get out of your head. These things are going to help you go through these shifts smoother. That's what I think the message was, and it took me 2 years to get that message now. So I think that's big.
Like, you know how easy it is for a junkie to find $500 a day? Pretty fucking easy, man. You know how hard it is for somebody who has 3 kids and just trying to fucking get by $500 in a month? It's really hard. I'm saying
speaking my language.
It's mind-blowing. So like, I try to transfer that creative, after the years of my travel, I'm like seeing all these people like striving so hard to just get ends meet when they're working their ass off every day, and then seeing these junkies who don't do shit all day, but then have everything you could ever possibly want. It's obvious, but that's the thing about humanity. The most difficult thing to do in life is give in to simplicity, give in to how easy everything is. The over-contemplation of humanity is the bane of humanity. We sit there and we overthink things constantly. We constantly try to get at something instead of just letting it be and molding it with our mind. And so we're constantly lost. Dude.
I love that. Are you kidding me? I'm rolling. I'm not going to have to say a thing in my next video. I'm just going to put just put Patty did. Actually, I already did. He already spouted the whole book off without even reading it. Keep going, Patty. Don't stop now.
What was that? Where do we leave off? Over-contemplation is the bane of all humanity. Don't think, feel. Make sure you feel out every single thing you think because it affects everything around you. And acceptance is the only true virtue in this world.
To make acceptance nice. Accepting, yeah. Wow.
Whether it be of yourself or others. But you can't accept others until you accept yourself. And everything you don't accept in others is part of you that you have to learn to accept.
There you go. And now for a song.
Get the fuck over yourselves. God, deal with it.
Get over God and yourselves.
Get the fuck over yourselves. Your God, deal with it.
We're all dead. God can't die.
As much as, I was talking to you earlier about the microcosm and the macrocosm reflecting each other, as much as an atom as an individual separate thing in this universe is a part of a cell that makes your fingernail, we are atoms of that thing that is beyond our perception, beyond what we can possibly perceive as God. We can't define that. There's no way we can possibly define it. As much as an atom in your fingernail, can define that it's you or knows that it's you, it doesn't. It's just being an atom. It's just being itself. And that atom is a cell. Is part of a cell. And an atom and that cell is a part of your fingernail. But it's still an individual. As much as you're an individual of God, you're just an atom in God's fucking toenail. But it doesn't make you any less of that thing.
No, you take it down to the protons, electrons, and it's just a piece. It's just a piece. It's expansion, contraction, the yin and the yang. It's the yin and the yang.
I'm really trying to break away from the because
duality.
There's gotta be movement.
Can I get that little dance move? Is that
dance move?